2024 has been a great year for fragrances. There's been a lot of new releases, a lot of crappy releases in 2024. So I wanted to comprise a list of fragrances that I want to bring into 2025, some new things that I just got in. So I wanted to kind of make a short, very concise review of all the new fragrances that I've gotten. Some of them you've already heard of, some of them are just new to you, some of them are very new to me. But this is not really going to be anything in depth. This is going to be more of a quick review on just how I feel when I smell these fragrances. This is Ronnie Fragrances. Let's get started. Coming up first is a house that I recently discovered, and I really haven't smelled anything bad from them. I've even blind bought 3 of their fragrances. And first, from Cleef and Arpels, Encens Précieux. Now, I hope I'm saying that right. My French and pretty much anything outside of English is very rough. But the one thing that I do love about this fragrance, it is now my wife's new fragrance. It has eclipsed Ambre leather by Tom Ford as my wife's top fragrance out of my entire 200 bottle collection. This is a great fragrance, especially if you want to do a date night. It is very dark. It is, like the name implies, incense. It is smoky. There's something of a slight sweet element to it. Longevity on this bad boy is a long time. You're sitting at about on skin at least, and I'm talking about on a dry skin scenario because I've tried it, about 7 whole hours. So if you don't know about this one, now you do. Trust me, it's actually been starting to make rounds in the fragrance community, and you might want to go ahead and get yourself a bottle of this before, you know, everything popular, the prices go up. Next, from the same house of Cleef and Arpels, is Ambre Impérial, as in Amber Imperial. It smells really good. It's a great way of doing amber. Now, there's other amber fragrances out there like the King of Amber, which would be MFK's Grand Soir, but this amber right here is a little bit more subdued. It's a little bit more easy wearing when it comes to how you do amber. The amber resin in this is amazing. Longevity is not as strong as the past one from Cleef and Arpels, but it has a great longevity. At least on my skin, I get about 5 hours, and on clothes, it is the next day. The sillage, the spillage will actually be really well done. It's not enough to choke people, but people would definitely smell you around. I really do enjoy this. This is another, if you don't know, now you know, from the house of Cleef and Arpels. Sticking with the house, and I promise you this is my last that I do have from the house, but it won't be the last that I will get from the house, Orchid leather. Now, Orchid leather is a beautiful way of doing leather. It's a little bit of a sweet leather. It's like that plum in that leather, and instead of the plum being very subdued in the background, it is very front facing, and the leather is the one that's in the background. So it's kind of got like that sweet bad boy type of vibe to it, kind of like the bad boy with a new cut, waves and everything, and not scruffy. That's the best way that I can describe it. This sadly has the weakest longevity of the 3, with coming in at about roughly 5 hours on skin, and that's well moisturized skin, and it is fabric reliant. And when I say the word fabric reliant, I mean certain fabrics of clothes make this last a little bit longer. I put this on leather and it didn't last that well on leather, but it lasted good on fleece and sweaters. And it is that time of year because it is still cold outside. We just went through a whole winter storm that only lasted a day here in North Carolina, but in other parts it is still going on. But this is a great fragrance that I do recommend. This house is really starting to get a lot of buzz, and I mean a lot of buzz. So please check out Cleef and Arpels. It is a great house to get in, especially if you want to smell that luxury fragrance. It is a great house to get into. Now going into a recently discovered house, Alghabra's Eye of the 7 Hills. Now, this right here is a more grown-up version of Side Effect. Eye of the 7 Hills has to be what I call initials Side Effect Big Brother. It is more mature in the sense of it's just formulated better. It's formulated the right way. How all the notes blend together are more perfect. When it comes to Side Effect has a tendency to come off a little bit like Robitussin on the skin to a lot of people. I am one of those people. But this right here gives that booziness that Side Effect has, but amplified it in a way that smells a lot more sophisticated. The saffron, the whiskey, vanilla, tobacco, a little bit of that cinnamon, the oud on the bottom, that cedar, that musk, and that amber does a really great job of being just a lot better than Side Effect. I know I might get some hate, but this right here is definitely coming into 2025 with a bang. Now the next fragrance, a lot of people know this house, but a lot of people know it for Baccarat. But this right here is Amyris Man Extrait by MFK. I needed to get this fragrance in my life. I wanted to get this fragrance in my life so bad, and I finally did. Now the original is great. Don't get me wrong, it is great. But it's something about this Extrait version that really does it for me and everybody else. The longevity of the Extrait is so much better than the EDP. The EDP longevity only lasts about 2 hours for me. But the reason why this fragrance smells so good, because it has the freshness mixed with a little bit of green without being too green. On some people's skin, it even says it comes off a little bit cool, like a spearmint. But this is an amazing fragrance all year round, not just a fresh heat. It's cold, and I have worn this a little bit too many times since I got it. And I do recommend this fragrance. If you can have the money and the budget for MFK, get this, get Baccarat, the Extrait version as well, which I do have in my wife's collection. But this smells, it just smells good, man. It's hard to explain, it's hard to describe. Even though I put up the notes, you couldn't even break it down how the smell profile is. Get a sample of it. It's just good. It's coming into 2025. Another one from the house of MFK that I am definitely bringing into 2025 is Oud Extrait. Y'all know I love Oud Satin Mood Extrait, but Oud Extrait is just taking the cake. The way that they did the saffron and the vanilla in this one with that resin and that patchouli leaf really makes this smell very grown up, very, very sexy. If you don't know it, now you know it, because I'm showing it to you. Get this one if you got it. I'm telling you, I know heavy on the pocket. Don't get me wrong, I know. And I do have some cheaper ones here on this list, but it smells great. It is perfect for a date night. It is perfect for this kind of weather. It can be a signature scent in the winter. Don't do this in the summer. But longevity on skin, you're looking at about 6.5 to 7 hours on skin, and on clothes, multiple days. Something about the Extraits made by MFK and the way that they do their oud and saffron, it just lasts forever on every single kind of fabric. So I do recommend it. It's coming into 2025. Hopefully y'all can see me and the reflection of it in this. It's just great. It really is. Next, from the house of Rosendo Mateu, number 5. Now, if y'all don't know about number 5, this is actually my first from this house, and it won't be my last, because the way they do it, the way they do their sprayers, pressurized, and that's barely pushing it. And just the way that they do the scent, I know it says floral and floral amber musk, but trust me, it's more of a beautiful floral amber powder. It's a very lovely powdery note. It smells like it has some iris in it. Like I said, I'm not looking at the notes on most of these fragrances because this is my first impression. It kind of reminds me of the same type of way that iris is done in Givenchy's line. And y'all know me, if y'all been a fan of this channel, Givenchy makes some of the most beautiful iris fragrances. The way that they do the iris is spectacular. But this one right here is beautiful. It is unisex. But on my skin and my wife's skin, it smells so different. Don't trust the paper, trust your skin. It smells great, and I love this. If you don't know it, now you do know it, because I am showing it to you. It is a beautiful fragrance by Rosendo Mateu. It's not the last one, and I can't wait to break down a full video of this later on this year. From the house of day 3, La Tacita de Café. I hope I'm saying that right. My Spanish is not the best kind of Spanish, but in English it just means simply a cup of coffee. And that's what this fragrance is. It smells like a very rich, in my personal opinion, because I do love coffee, it smells like a very rich Cambodian coffee. It is a beautiful take on a regular coffee fragrance. You know, some coffee fragrances that just smell like straight up coffee with no nuance in it. I know people want to smell like coffee beans. I do. I love the smell of a good Dunkin' or Starbucks or any of the other brands that I have at the house. I got about 15 of them. Love coffee. But this right here smells like a coffee, slightly vanilla, a little bit of chocolate and amber into it. Longevity on this bad boy is about a good morning. When I say a good morning, it's about roughly 5 hours. And on clothes, it'll last about a good day. On some fabrics, about 2 days. It is great for just a good pick-me-up. I would actually wear this around the office. It smells like masculine coffee. But you can also do this on a nice date night as well. Day 3 really came out with a banger with this one. I think they changed up the bottle since then, but this is amazing, and shout out Day 3 because it smells great. Next from the house of Day 3 as well is Ámbar Dominicano. Now this right here is an amber forward fragrance. Not too much nuance to it. It is amber, a little bit of fizziness, like an amber soda, kind of like amber meets Tonka Cola in a sense. It's a really great amber resin that is not too rough like Grand Soir. And I bring up Grand Soir because that is the king of amber fragrances to a lot of people. This is a beautiful way and a beautiful take on amber. I do recommend this over Grand Soir, not because Grand Soir is less than this, not because this smells better, but because of the wearability of it. The way they do the amber in this is very bright. I've even worn this fragrance on a warmer winter day. I'm talking about like it got up to about 70 with no issues. And I wore it on a 30-degree day with no issues. It smells amazing. My wife loves it. My wife actually loves this. And she's not too much of a fan of amber. She thinks it's very femme on guys, but she really does love Ámbar Dominicano. It is a great fragrance from the house of Day 3, and it's coming in with me to 2025. Next is another beautiful fragrance, a brand new release from Day 3. I think you pronounce it Aylan or Aylan. And as you can see, signed on the back. It is an exclusive from Scent Explorer. It is a great fragrance. Funny story, really quick. I was on live watching my guy enter the fragrance on live, and he was at the Day 3 booth. And I heard the owner of Day 3 talk about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to blind buy it. Most of my stuff are blind buys anyway, and it was a very successful blind buy. Strong, very, very, very strong. 1 to 2 sprays to light up a whole room, and the longevity on skin is about 9-10 hours. It's very, very potent. One of my top 5 strongest scents. If y'all want a video on that, let me know. The code word is so good. This is a great fragrance. It will be coming into 2025. I'm gonna get a lot of wears into it. Hopefully I can get a backup bottle, and hopefully I don't smudge too much of the signature because, you know, it's an exclusive bottle. I think I was bottle 179 if I'm not mistaken, but it is great. Shout out Day 3 again for making great stuff, and it's coming into 2025. Being in the fragrance world, you find yourself interacting with a lot of people, and a lot of people who do decants. And I was able to find a decanter who was giving away his bottle that still has some juice in it, and that is Byredo's Tobacco Mandarin. It is a very, very heavy tobacco fragrance. And it's not like the sweet tobacco, like the guts. It's more of that tobacco leaf and everything. Back when I used to smoke cigars, I would really, really enjoy the smell of the actual leaf before the burn. And that's what you're going to get into this. You're going to get yourself that leafy tobacco. It smells like, how can I describe it? Like a juicy leafy tobacco maybe. And longevity is pretty long, and it's very, very strong. Longevity is sitting at about 6.5, 7 hours. And projection, because I wanted to speak on the projection of this fragrance. It's about 9 feet. I'm telling you, like, you spray it and it goes down a hallway quickly. It is a people pleaser. Now, word of caution, some people like it, some people just can't stand it. So do not test this on paper. Please put this on skin. This Tobacco Mandarin is coming with me in 2025. It's not even gonna last 2025. Y'all see that juice on that bottle, right? But it is good. I can't wait to get a full bottle of it. It's just great. Next, from the house of Room 1015, 1015. You have Cherry Punk, the EDP. I hope that shows up on camera. Now, Cherry Punk. The regular Cherry Punk, it smells like cherry, but it smells more medicinal. It smells more medical cherry. It smells more Robitussin cherry. It does smell good. I just wish the longevity was better. My skin sucks this juice up very, 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 very much so, balls. And it is a very good smelling cherry. Is it the best cherry I smelled? No. But it still will be coming with me in 2025 because it came here to my house at 2025. And when I say that, I mean the 3rd of this month, 3rd of January. So I'm going to experiment more with this before I give a full thing of it. It's like I say, just the way the cherry comes off doesn't come off too right for me. So look more for the review of this so I can talk about it more. But since it came here, I had to add it to this list. Next, it's Big Brother that have come about 2 days after that. Room 1015 Cherry Punk Extrait. Now, I know I got one size bigger than the other. It's fine. But Cherry Punk Extrait is more of the realistic cherry that you want. More of that, do cherries be in orchards, if I'm not mistaken? Or just on vines? Doesn't really matter. But it's the one that you are really looking for. It smells great. It is a good discovery that I had. It's more of a realistic cherry. It's in that same cherry as Mind Games French Defense, which I have back there. It is a beautiful fragrance. I do recommend everybody picking up the Extrait version for now over the EDP, all because if you want more of that realistic cherry vibe, and both of them are unisex, I would say get the Extrait over the EDP. Next is a fragrance that I recently discovered, Akro's Smoke. If you want to smell like smoke, just straight up, just fresh smoke ash, this is what you need to get. It's going to smell like smoke heavy for like the first hour. The dry down to get to the different nuances of this fragrance take a long time to get there. It takes a strong hour, but this is so strong. What I mean by so strong, I had this exact sweater on, put it on my skin, put the sweater on and put a jacket over the sweater, and I smelt it still through the jacket. This has to be one of my strongest, most pungent fragrances of my entire collection. Beating out Baccarat, beating out some of the Extraits, beating out even some of the Am Noirs that I have in samples and the Am Noirs I have back there. It is ridiculous how strong this fragrance is. Only thing I can say this smells like, just off top without looking at notes, smoke, amber, maybe a touch of sandalwood there, maybe. But like I say, this is just a first impression, so I really didn't look at the notes of Smoke by Akro. It's coming with me in 2025. It may burn away by the time in the 2025 ends, but we'll get to that later. Akro Smoke, I do recommend if you want to smell like smoke. Next up, Blackcliff Hello Darkness. Now, first off, look at the bottle. The bottle is a rock. And how you would see the juice is right, there's a crack in there so you can see the juice. It is a different fragrance. When it's Hello Darkness, but the way that Blackcliff does a lot of the fragrances, just from the note breakdowns I've been seeing, they put a little bit of some type of marine there. And I'm not talking about in the marine of like how it could come off like eggs, like some of the Aqua de Giros on some people's skin. But this smells like a dark night on a beach of jet black sand with some vanilla. That's what it smells like. I do recommend this, one, because of the freaking bottle, and two, because it just smells that doggone good. It just smells amazing. It's hard for me to describe it. It's darkness meets ocean. So I guess that kind of would make sense, like if this was like a Magna Rock and it's in the sea and everything. Hello Darkness by Blackcliff. Black owned too, I think it's out of Byredo, if I'm not mistaken. So try them out. I think they got a discovery kit on their website, if I'm not mistaken. This was worth every single penny, and I think it's on sale on Max Aroma right now. But yeah, Hello Darkness, my old friend, coming into 2025. Next up, I may butcher this name, but I'm trying my best not to. Mècanique Intuitive Les Prévalas. I think that's how you say it. But just listen to it. Just listen to it.
Les Eaux Primordiales.
Yeah. Everybody talk about super massive. Super vanilla massive. I think that's what you call it. When it comes to this brand. But this brand is brand new to me. I have never heard of this brand until listening to the Perfume Guy. And I wanted to try something different than what everybody else would have. And I was pleasantly surprised. This is kind of like don't look at the notes on Fragrantica because they are all wrong. Just from the initial spray and smell of it, it's kind of like a masculine tea. A masculine tea on top that gets very warm on the bottom because of a smell of some amber mixed with a little bit of vanilla. That's what it smells like. It is a great fragrance. I need to get more wears of it. I really got this fragrance about 4 days ago from this video I need to get more wears of it. But just from the initial first spray of it, it smells like it's going to be a winner. The top note is a little sharp. So the dry down is where it's really going to get its blessings from. So I would recommend this fragrance for now. But let me do more testing. This is just, like I say, just an experience from me just getting to know these new fragrances. But for right now, I do recommend it. Next up, Les Artisan Parfums Tea for Two. Now, this was a fragrance that was love at first sniff. Put this on skin. On paper, it smells completely different. When I mean completely different. The dry down is even different. This Tea for Two was worth every single penny. I freaking love this thing. I'm actually wearing it now. It is my scent of the day before this video. It smells amazing to me. This is what absolute Aventus should have smelled like. I'm not saying it's trying to be Aventus. I'm not. But this is what it should have smelled like. The black tea in this, because it has tea for two, so that's the only note that I know. And it smells like it got a little bit of ambroxan. It smells like it has some oak moss in it. It smells like it has a little bit of sandalwood in it because it's creamy, a little bit of vanilla. This tea for two, man, I can't wait to do a full review out of wearing this, man. This was beautiful. I got this secondhand, so it is missing a little bit of juice, but it is a beautiful tea leading masculine fragrance. This right here should be the best masculine tea fragrance ever made. I am not gassing it up. This was love at first sniff, Tea for Two. I'm going to look more into this house because if Tea for Two smells good, I can imagine the other offerings from this house. It smells amazing. This right here may be my love of 2025 because I am going to wear the heck out of it. Last but certainly not least, Jeremy Fragrances Office. Now, Office for Men smells perfect for the office. I'm gonna be honest with you. It is a great office scent that is way too strong for the office. And being honest with you, it smells great, but it is way too strong for the office. One smell in here will light up this whole room. If I can give you a scent smell to it, it smells like Mont Blanc Explorer if you got rid of the oat moss way that it's trying to be like with Aventus. And you ditch the Aventus filling pineapple in it, and you give it more of an apple note, like how you would have in YSL's YSL EDP. That's what this smells like. It is a great fragrance. This is the second batch because the bottle clear, the first batch was black. It is a great fragrance, but it's just way too strong for the office. This would be more like After Office for Men. That, to me, would have been a better name. But it's coming with me in the 2025. We're going to wear it a little bit of times if I ever go back into the office. But it smells great. I can't wait to get some wears out of it. That's the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow. It's TikTok going away, so I don't know what other platforms we're going to be on for our short form content. I'm throwing some feelers out there. I know Instagram and Facebook is going to be one, and YouTube Shorts, of course. But we're going to try to fill all that out. I said the code word. If you know about it, because I'm doing a giveaway. The code word is in here. Just got to look for it. Watch again and find it. But I appreciate everybody looking at the content. Until next time.